Wake up, rise up, Mell be on the line. News, weather, truth, she delivers on time. Affirm your power, let the doubt unwind. Kickstart your soul, let your purpose shine. She don't just talk, she sparked the flame from 7 to 8. She runs the game, Jamaica to New Orleans and all the world. The vibe don't sleep. Mell B drop gems while the world counts sheep. No fluff, no cap, just facts.
Grand Rising, my beautiful kings and queens. It's your girl Mell B, live on Lux Radio Network. It is Friday, January 9th. All right, our affirmation of the day is I honor my journey and I celebrate my growth. I have done enough, I have given enough, and I am worthy of the rest that is coming my way. Our word of the day is exuberant, meaning triumphantly happy, exuberant, or celebratory. Our phrase origin of the day is let your hair down, to behave more freely than usual and enjoy yourself without worry. In the 17th century, women were expected to wear their hair in very tight, elaborate styles in public. The only time they would literally let their hair down was at the end of the day when they were home, relaxed, and completely themselves. All right, for headline news, starting with New York, the Under the Radar Theater Festival enters its first weekend, featuring experimental performances across 20 venues citywide to boost the post-holiday arts economy. New York's event of the day is the Winter Jazz Fest Manhattan Marathon, a massive multi-venue event featuring over 100 groups performing throughout the night. Los Angeles, city officials unveiled a new small business resilience grant program specifically for independent realtors in the fashion district to combat rising commercial rents. Los Angeles event of the day is Bruno Mars, The Romantic Tour at SoFi Stadium, the first of a back-to-back sold-out residency. Chicago. The Chicago Department of Cultural Affairs announced the Winter Arts Grant recipients, totaling $2 million to fund community murals in underserved West Side neighborhoods. Chicago's event of the day is Tomorrow Never Knows Festival, featuring 6 Foot Blonde and Violent Crime as part of the citywide independent music showcase. Atlanta, the Beltline Project reported a 15% increase in foot traffic following the installation of new solar-powered safety lighting along the East Side Trail. Atlanta's event of the day is Reimagined, the High Museum Open Studio, a public workshop where local artists teach traditional techniques using recycled materials. Houston. The Houston Marathon Weekend kicks off today with the opening of the Health and Fitness Expo at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Houston's event of the day is Destiny's Child Ionic Reimagined at the Bell Tower on 34th, a tribute concert featuring a live string ensemble with special guests Matthew Knowles. Washington, D.C. The National Mall announced a new digital heritage app walk app that uses augmented reality to show historical protests and events at the exact spots they occurred. Washington, D.C.'s event of the day is Lunar New Year Preview at the Smithsonian American Art Museum, featuring traditional dance rehearsals open to the public. Miami. Port Miami officially welcomed its first fully electric shore power cruise terminal, significantly reducing idle ship emissions in Bicon Bay. Miami's event of the day is Art Deco Weekend, Jazz on the Ocean Drive, a free community concert series kicking off the Historic Preservation Festival. Tampa. The Tampa Bay Economic Development Council reported a record number of tech startups relocating to the Water Street District in the first week of the year. Tampa's event today is Friday Night Heights at Seminole Heights, a monthly community market featuring local makers and Florida-style street food. Newport Richey. Good morning, Dad. The Pascal County Library System launched a seed library program today, providing residents with free heirloom seeds to encourage home food security. Newport Richie's event of the day is NPR First Friday Art Walk, a community gathering in Simmons Park featuring local musicians and open air galleries. Milwaukee. Good morning, family. The city launched Milwaukee 2023, a comprehensive urban planning forum seeking public input on the future of the lakefront and public transit. Milwaukee's event of the day is the MKE Winter Farmers Market at the Table Vocational Center, a weekend kickoff event featuring local winter harvest produce and artisanal crafts. Vancouver. Vancouver International Airport introduced new Cultural Gateway program featuring rotating exhibits from First Nations artists in the Arrivals Hall. Vancouver's event of the day is Street Food City 2026. The annual festival returns to the square with over 20 local food trucks. Toronto. The city of Toronto officially broke ground on the Green Loop project, a series of interconnected parkettes designed to improve biodiversity in the downtown core. The event of the day there is the Infinite Wrench, a high-energy late-night performance art show where the audience experiences 30 short plays in 60 minutes. Kingston. The National Gallery of Jamaica announced a major retrospective on contemporary Caribbean sculpture, set to travel across the islands later this year. Kingston's event of the day is Kingston Creative Art Walk, a monthly community festival in the downtown art district featuring murals, mural tours, and local drumming circles. Montego Bay. St. James Municipal Corporation approved a new sustainable tourism tax credit for small guest houses to install solar water heaters. Montego Bay event of the day is Mo Bay Community Beach Cleanup, a volunteer-led initiative at Dead End Beach, followed by a community mixer. Ocho Rios. Plans were finalized for the Garden Parish Tech Hub, a new co-working space aimed at keeping young digital talent in the St. Anne area. Ocho Rios event of the day is Island Rhythms Showcase at Island Village, a local talent show featuring traditional folk music and modern dancehall. Negril. The Negril Coral Reef Preservation Society reported a 10% increase in healthy coral growth thanks to the newly implemented no anchor zones. Negril's event of the day is the Sunset Sessions on the Cliffs, a community gathering featuring local poets and acoustic musicians. Cayman Islands. The Cayman government introduced a digital nomad 2.0 visa, offering extended stays for remote workers who contribute to local environmental charities. Cayman Islands event of the day is Cayman Arts Festival Pop-Up, an intimate evening of piano performances at Camana Bay. Nassau, Bahamas. The Bahamas Department of Marine Resources launched a nationwide campaign to protect the queen conch population during the peak winter season. Nassau's event of the day is Junkanoo Summer Series Winter Preview at Arbawake, a community rush practice session with costumes and drums. Nigeria. The Nigerian government defended its recent debt release measures for the NNPCL, citing the need for strategic stability in the energy sector to ensure long-term GDP growth. Nigeria's event of the day is International Conference on Healthcare Safety, closing day sessions at the Abuja International Conference Center focused on local pharmaceutical manufacturing. And Ghana. Following Constitution Day, the Ghanaian Ministry of Finance reported a positive trend in poverty reduction through expanded social safety nets and educational investments. Ghana's event of the day is Highlight Revival Night at the National Theater, a community celebration honoring the pioneers of Ghana's most famous musical genre. On to the weather. New York, cloudy with a high of 51 and a low of 36. Los Angeles, sunny with a high of 63 and a low of 42. Chicago, mostly cloudy and cold, high of 32 and a low of 24. Atlanta, cloudy with a high of 52 and a low of 44. Houston, partly cloudy with a high of 64 and a low of 48. DC, cloudy with a high of 54 and a low of 38. Miami, partly sunny and pleasant, high of 78 and a low of 68. Tampa, mostly sunny with a high of 74 and a low of 60. Newport Richey, sunny with a high of 72 and a low of 58. Milwaukee, mostly cloudy with a high of 34 and a low of 26. Vancouver, overcast with light rain with a high of 45 and a low of 39. Toronto, mostly sunny with a high of 36 and a low of 27. Kingston, sunny and warm with a high of 86 and a low of 72. Montego Bay, sunny with a high of 84 and a low of 68. Ocho Rios, mostly sunny with a high of 84 and a low of 68. Negril, sunny with a high of 84 and a low of 68. Cayman Islands, mostly sunny with a high of 82 and a low of 75. Nassau, partly sunny, high of 79 and a low of 70. Nigeria, scattered thunderstorms during the day with a high of 88 and a low of 78. And Ghana, partly sunny and humid with a high of 83 and a low of 78. All right, on to our sports. There were no NFL games played on Thursday, so the league is currently in a bye week for the remaining teams as they prepare for the start of the 2025-26 NFL playoffs. So the Super Wild Card weekend kicks off tomorrow. And we have the Rams and the Panthers will be at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fox. And the Packers and the Bears play on Prime Video at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So for the listeners also who follow the college game, Miami beat Ole Miss 31-27 in the Fiesta Bowl last night to advance to the national championship game. All right, on to the NBA. Last night we had the Pacers over the Hornets, 114-112. This was a history-making game because the Pacers coach Rick Carlisle earned his 1,000th career win with that victory game. And the Timberwolves over the Cavaliers, 131-122. The Jazz over the Mavericks, 116-114. And unfortunately, the Heat and the Bulls game got postponed. So check your local listings for the rescheduled date on that game. And today we have the 76ers and the Magic will be on NBC Sports and FanDuel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the Pelicans and the Wizards also at 7 p.m. They will be on the Gulf Coast Sports and Monumental Sports Networks. We have the Raptors and the Celtics at 7 p.m. also on Sportsnet Canada and NBC Sports Boston. The Clippers and the Nets will be at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on FanDuel, SoCal, and Yes Network. Thunder and the Grizzlies will be at 8 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time, and they will be on the NBA TV, FDSN Oklahoma, and FDSN in Southeast. We also have the Hawks and the Nuggets to play at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They will be on FDSN Southwest Atlanta and Altitude Denver. We also have the Knicks and the Suns will be also at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They will be on MSG Network in New York and Arizona's Family Sports on KTVK. We also have the Rockets and the Blazers will be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They will be on the channel Space City Home Network and KUNP in Portland. We have the Kings and the Wizards will also be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They will be on NBC Sports California and NBC Sports Bay Area. And the Bucks and the Lakers will be at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time on NBA TV and Sportsnet LA. So reminder, Friday nights are now a heavy streaming night for the league. So if you can't find a game on cable, you should check Prime Video or Peacock as many of the regional games are on there now. All right, on to our daily feature, which is Feature Friday. And today we have, the spotlight is The Secret Life of Trees. So you probably should take a look outside your window and you see those trees out there. You probably think they're just standing there silent and solo. But the truth is, there's a whole secret world happening right up under your feet. Scientists call it the Wood Wide Web, and it's basically the forest version of the internet. So these are actually talking to each other, these trees. They use a massive underground network of fungi, which is tiny white threads called mycelium, to connect their roots. Think of it like a fiber optic cable system that links every tree to the forest. And they aren't just shooting the breeze, they're running a full-scale community support system. So here are 3 things happening in the secret life of trees at this moment. Number 1, the mother tree effect. Every forest has a hub or a mother tree. These are the oldest and biggest ones. Research shows they actually recognize their own offspring. When a seedling is struggling in the shade, the mother tree will send extra sugar and nutrients through the fungal network to keep it alive. It's a literal family meal happening underground. 2, the early warning system. When a tree is attacked by insects, it doesn't just suffer in silence. It releases chemical alarm signals into the network. Within hours, the neighboring trees receive that message and start producing their own pesticides in their leaves to protect themselves before the bugs even get there. And 3, the last will and testament. This is the most beautiful part. When a tree is dying, it doesn't just wither away. It often dumps its remaining nutrients back into the network, passing its legacy on to the younger trees around it so the forest can keep thriving. So next time you're feeling lonely, just remember, nature doesn't even work in isolation. Even the trees know that we're stronger when we're connected. So from the Real I Spy, hug a tree today. Also, we have on Feature Friday, we have the Global Flavor, which we are spotlighting 2 different drinks, traditions, or food recipes from different countries. So our first up is Brazil, and it's a drink called caipirinha. Caipirinha. The caipirinha is Brazil's national cocktail, a bright, refreshing drink made with caçaça, a sugarcane that is similar to rum, but earthier and more aromatic. It's mixed with fresh lime, sugar, and ice, creating a sweet tart flavor that Brazilians have been sipping for over a century. The caipirinha started as a farmer's market drink in the countryside of Sao Paulo. Over time, it became a symbol of Brazilian hospitality, celebration, and summertime gatherings. Today, it is served everywhere from beach bars to high-end restaurants, but the heart of it all is still simple, fresh, and made by hand. So next time you want to taste of Brazil, ask for a caipira, the cocktail that tastes like sunshine and samba. Second country, we're spotlighting Sweden and the kräftskiva. A kräftskiva is Sweden's famous crayfish party, celebrated every August. It's one of the country's most joyful traditions, a big outdoor feast where friends and family gather to eat boiled crayfish seasoned with dill, sing drinking songs, wear silly paper hats, and enjoy the last warm nights of summer. The tradition began in the early 1900s when crayfish became a seasonal delicacy due to the fishing restrictions. Instead of complaining, Swedes turned it into a full-blown celebration. Today, Kräftskiva is about community, laughter, lanterns, and long tables covered with red shells and good vibes. Sweden's Kräftskiva is proof that a meal can be a whole mood. It's not just a dinner, it's a summertime celebration of food, friendship, and fun. All right, on to our book club reading. where we are still reading The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter Woodson. Today we are on chapter 10, The Loss of Vision. Woodson warns that miseducation causes people to lose sight of their purpose, their identity, and their collective mission. This chapter explains how miseducation blinds Black people to keep to their own potential. When you're taught to see yourself through someone else's lenses, you stop dreaming, stop innovating, and stop believing in what's possible. Woodson says the greatest tragedy is not oppression, it's when the oppressed begin to accept the limits placed on them. So reclaim your vision, reclaim your imagination, reclaim the future you were told you couldn't have. If they can control your mind, they don't have to control your body. But if you are free of your mind, everything else follows. All right, on to the cause of the day. It's mast cell activation syndrome, or MCAS, a condition where mast cells release excessive inflammatory chemicals, causing repeated episodes resembling allergic reactions without a clear trigger. It's a disorder of the immune system where mast cells become overly reactive, releasing histamine and other mediators unpredictably. So the symptoms are flushing, hives are itching, swelling of the face, lips, or throat, diarrhea or vomiting, abdominal pain, shortness of breath, a rapid heartbeat, low blood pressure, and episodes that can escalate to anaphylaxis. So MCAS cannot be prevented, but identifying personal triggers, reducing stress, and using antihistamines or mast cell stabilizers under medical care can reduce episodes. So for more information, you can contact the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology, and also the Cleveland Clinic Immunology. All right, on to today in history. In 1431, trial of Joan Arc begins in Rouen, France. In 1788, Connecticut became the fifth U.S. state to ratify the Constitution. In 1793, first balloon flight in the United States by Jean-Pierre Blanchard. In 1861, first shots of the Civil War fired at the Star of the West ship near Fort Sumter. In African American history, in 1914, Phi Beta Sigma fraternity is founded at Howard University. Built on the principles of brotherhood, scholarship, and service, Sigma becomes a cornerstone of Black academic and civic leadership. In 1961, the first group of Black students integrates the University of Georgia. Charlene Hunter Galt and Hamilton Holmes enroll, facing mobs and threats, but opening doors for generations to come. And in 1996, Kwesimi Ufume becomes president of the NAACP. The former congressman takes leadership of the nation's oldest civil rights organization, focusing on youth engagement and economic justice. All right, on to our scientists and inventors. First up, we have Lonnie Johnson, a former NASA engineer. Johnson invented the Super Soaker, one of the best-selling toys of all time, and now develops clean energy battery technology. Next, we have Dr. April Erickson, the first Black woman to earn a PhD in engineering from NASA Goddard. She contributed to satellite design, climate research, and spaceflight systems. And last, we have George Washington Carver. Carver developed hundreds of products from peanuts, sweet potatoes, and soybeans, transforming Southern agriculture and promoting sustainable farming. On to our Back to Roots segment. First up, we have Yoruba concept of Ashe, or divine power. Ashe is the life force, the divine power to make things happen. It is spoken in prayers, blessings, and affirmations. It's your words. If your words carry power, speak them with intention. Next, we have Wolof greeting tradition, Nagadaf. In Wolof, Senegal, Nagadef means how are you? It reflects warmth, connection, and communal care. A greeting is an act of humanity. And third, African storytelling as sacred teaching. Storytelling is a spiritual practice, a way to pass wisdom, history, morality, and identity. Stories teach, heal, and warm with empowerment. All right, on to our fun fact. Fun fact or fiction. First story, we're ending the week with strange stories. First story up is the Oak Island Money Pit. It's a 200-year-old treasure hunt on a tiny island in Nova Scotia that has cost millions of dollars and several lives, and yet the vault remains empty. So in 1795, three boys found a depression in the ground under an old oak tree. As they dug, they found wooden platforms every 10 feet. Legend says there is a money pit filled with everything from pirate gold to the lost manuscripts of Shakespeare or the Holy Grail. So the reality is, despite centuries of digging and the hit TV show The Curse of Oak Island, no massive treasure chest has ever been found. However, searchers have found a 14th century gold brooch, a 17th century Spanish coin, and even traces of gold and silver in soil through high-tech water testing in 2022. So geologists argue the pit might actually be a natural sinkhole. The flood tunnels that keep drowning out searchers, they might just find natural limestone channels that fill the seawater. So this verdict of this story is unproven because the treasure remains undiscovered. The next story is the Copper Scroll treasure, a literal ancient treasure map etched in metal that lists over 60 tons of hidden gold and silver. So the legend is, it was found in 1952 among the Dead Sea Scrolls. This isn't a religious text, it's an inventory. It lists 64 locations where massive amounts of treasure were buried to hide them from the Roman army. So the reality is the map is incredibly specific, but impossible to follow. It says things like, in the salt pit, which is under the steps, 41 talents of silver. The problem? We don't know where those steps were 2,000 years ago. So most historians believe the treasure was real and likely belonged to the Second Temple in Jerusalem. However, there's a strong chance that the Romans found it shortly after the scroll was hidden, or that the talents mentioned are much smaller units than we think. So this verdict of this one is also unproven. Treasure locations remain unverified. And the last story, the Baghdad Battery, a 2,000-year-old clay jar that might prove that ancients had electricity long before Benjamin Franklin. So the legend is, discovered in 1936 near Baghdad, these 5-inch jars contain a copper cylinder and an iron rod. If you fill them with an acid like vinegar or grape juice, they actually produce about 1.1 volts of electricity. So the reality is, while they can function as a battery, there is no evidence they were used that way. We haven't found any wires, light bulbs, or electrical devices from that era. Many modern archaeologists believe these weren't batteries at all, but rather storage vessels for scrolls. The acid found inside might be just the remains of organic matter that rotted away over centuries. So the verdict of this story is fiction. No evidence of ancient electricity has ever been found. All right, on to the tech tip of the day. Use automated security tools for faster threat response. Fact check. In 2026, cybersecurity leaders say automatic remediation is becoming necessary because manual response can't keep up with AI accelerated attacks. So automated mediation tools detect and fix security issues like isolating infected files or blocking malicious traffic without waiting for human action. So turn on automatic threat removal in your antivirus, enable auto patching for apps or operating systems, and use cloud services with auto isolation for suspicious activity. In finance tip of the day, update your passwords and turn on two-factor authentication. 2026 financial guidance stresses cybersecurity as a core money skill due to major data breaches at TransUnion and Medicare. Strong passwords and two-factor authentication protect your financial accounts from hacking and identity theft. So create passwords with 12 plus characters mixed with symbols and no personal information. Use a password generator like off of McAfee or 1Password for stronger security, and turn on your two-factor authentication for all banking and investment accounts. Our fun fact of the day is a hawk learned to use crosswalk signals to hunt prey. Researchers observed a hawk using traffic crosswalk signals as cues to target prey in urban environments. The hawk waits for the walk signal when pedestrians flush out small animals, then swoops in. This shows advanced learning and adaptation. Our fun holiday of the day is its Static Electricity Day, which is it celebrates funny and shocking sometimes phenomenon of static charge. Static electricity happens when electrons build up on surfaces and discharge suddenly, like when you touch a doorknob or pull off a sweater. Our quote of the day comes from Mr. Chadwick Boseman, and I quote, "Purpose is an essential element of you," end quote. Mr. Boseman speaks to the soul. Purpose isn't something you find, it's something you are. Purpose is the inner compass that guides your decisions, fuels your passion, and shapes your legacy. Chadwick's message is a reminder that you are not random. You are designed with intention, and your purpose is already inside you, waiting to be lived out. All right, on to celebrity gossip. Shaquille O'Neal shuts down relationship rumors. Shaq is clearing the air. After a wave of clickbait headlines, Shaquille O'Neal publicly dismissed rumors about his personal life, calling them nothing more than speculation. Celebrity birthdays. Today we have Omari Hardwick, who is 51. Sean Paul is 53. Dion Cole is 53. Muggsy Bogus is 61. Chad Johnson is 47. And Beyonce's daddy, Matthew Coles, is 74. All right, on to our lifestyle segment. Our soul food recipe today is turkey meatloaf with brown sugar glaze paired with blackberry lemonade. Men's health tip today is a morning stretch routine. It helps reduce stiffness and improves posture. Men's fashion tip is add a statement watch, digital or analog. It completes a look. Women's health tip, beauty tip, weekly exfoliation. It removes dead skin, brightens complexion, and improves product absorption. Women's fashion tip of the day is winter sweater dress. Warm, flattering, and perfect with boots. Our household chore of the day is vacuum under furniture. Dust and allergens hide there, and it also improves air quality. Auto Mechanics 101 for females. Check your battery terminals. Look for corrosion and clean gently if needed. Relationship tips for couples: share your weekend intentions. Alignment builds peace. Friendships: send a voice note instead of a text. It feels more personal. And family: do a quick family budget or planning check-in. All right, for our Street 101 lesson for today, we always hear your network is your net worth. But in 2026, the streets are teaching us a different lesson. A big circle with zero loyalty is just a crowd of witnesses. Today, we're talking about the differences between your day ones and the feather weather friends who only show up when the sun is out and the grill is hot. See, the hustle is already hard enough, but when you add the weight of people who are only around for what's surrounding you rather than who you are, that's when the grind gets dangerous. So here is a few tips or a few suggestions and a few examples. 1, spotlight the empathy allergy. A real one listens when you're down. A fake one pops up. You. If you tell a friend you're struggling and they respond by telling you how much harder their week was, it's an empty allergy. They're they aren't they aren't an ally. They're a competitor in disguise. 2, the fair weather brand. This goes for business too. A fair weather partner is only there to collab when your numbers are up. The moment you hit a slump or pivot phase, they ghost you out. Real allies are all weather. They understand what that grind has, and that grind has seasons, and they stay in the trenches during the winter. Then you got enemies versus rivals. Don't confuse a rival with an enemy. A rival pushes you to be better, and an enemy wants to see you out of the game. In 2026, the smartest hustlers are turning rivals into cooperators, working together on big plays while still maintaining their own lanes. Listen, the street will test your character, but they'll test your circle even more. If you have to question if someone is for you, you probably already have your answer. So don't be afraid to edit your circle so your vision can stay clear. I say, the ones that love you, love them, but watch the ones who just watch you. All right, before they were legends, we got Benjamin Banneker. Before calculators and Google, Benjamin Banneker, a free Black man born in 1731, taught himself astronomy and mathematics. He published almanacs, predicted eclipse, and challenged Thomas Jefferson on slavery. He didn't just count the stars, he counted himself worthy. All right, on to our daily horoscopes with the theme of drink your drink for the weekend. But most of these cocktails can be made into mocktails. So you skip the alcohol. You get the same vibe and same flavor. So first up, we got Aries. Weekend energy is bold. You're ready to be outside. Your drink for the weekend is a spicy margarita or spicy lime spritzer. Your lucky numbers today are 3, 14, and 28. Taurus, you want cozy luxury and comfort. Your drink for the weekend is a vanilla bourbon old fashioned or just a vanilla spiced iced tea. Your lucky numbers are 6, 18, and 25. Gemini, social mode activated. You're the conversation starter. Your drink for the weekend is a mango mojito or mango mint mocktail. Your lucky numbers are 5, 12, and 33. Cancer, home feels like the best place to be. Drink for the weekend, a peach Bellini or sparkling peach juice. Lucky numbers for you are 2, 11, and 27. Leo, you're in full main character this weekend energy. Your drink for the weekend is pineapple rum punch or pineapple ginger punch. Your lucky numbers are 1, 19, and 34. Virgo, you want calm, clean, and refreshing vibes. Your drink for the weekend is cucumber mint cooler with or without gin. Lucky numbers are 4, 16, and 28. Libra, you're ready for something pretty, social, and light. Your drink for the weekend is a rosé spritzer or sparkling rosé lemonade. Lucky numbers for you are 7, 15, and 30. Scorpio, you're in a mysterious, magnetic mood. Your drink for the weekend is a blackberry whiskey smash or blackberry lime mocktail. Lucky numbers for you are 8, 20, and 31. Sagittarius, spontaneous plans are calling your name. Drink for the weekend is a tequila sunrise or an orange grenadine sunrise mocktail. Your lucky numbers for you are 10, 23, and 34. Capricorn, you're mixing productivity with pleasure this weekend. Your weekend drink is an espresso martini or iced espresso with foam. Lucky numbers for you are 13, 24, and 35. Aquarius, You want something different, colorful, and a little rebellious. Your drink for the weekend is a Blue Lagoon or Blue Citrus mocktail. Your lucky numbers are 9, 17, and 32. And Pisces. You're dreaming, reflecting, and moving in soft motion. Drink for the weekend for you is a lavender lemonade cocktail or lavender lemonade mocktail. Your lucky numbers are 6, 21, and 33. I would like to say thank you to our sponsors. Shout out to Bello Burn Hot Sauce, Bold Taste, Big Kick. Bello Burn keeps the city spicy. RAS Herbals, natural remedies, real results. RAS Herbals keeps this community grounded. Colorine Candles, soft light, strong energy. Colorine Candles elevates every space. And Universal Madness, style with a statement. Universal Madness keeps the culture fitted. All right, and announcements. Today we have Live and Learn with Gemini Goddess returning this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's also the Peace Podcast with Tay and Jay at 9:30 p.m. And also tomorrow night we have Snatch and Savage at 8 p.m. With Omni, Mimi, Unknown Mike with special guest Ace Boogie. All right, and this is how we close out the week. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay blessed, stay safe. This is your girl, Mel B, and I will see you when I see ya.